The faint of heart be gone, because it's about to get weird and art housey up in here.
Hello and welcome to my review of Stoker.
Stoker centers on a young woman named India, played by Mia Wasikowska, who just turns 18 at the start of the film when her father, oh so conveniently, dies in a car accident. Her and her mother, played by Nicole Kidman, are left alone in their big mansion for all of 5 seconds until Matthew Good shows up as the dad's brother and just kind of moves into the house without any introduction to him whatsoever in their lives. He just has shown up and lives with Nicole Kidman and Mia Wasikowska now. Not the best idea, and unsurprisingly, Good gets up to some rather suspicious and vaguely incestuous activity. So Stoker. Now, I wasn't too interested in Incredible Burt Wonderstone or The Call this weekend, so I decided to go out on a limb and check out this very odd-looking film from the director of a highly well-regarded Chinese film called Old Boy, which I haven't seen, but I'm looking very much forward to doing so because I hear it's great. Was the adventure worth it? Well, it depends. Do you consider worth it as feeling incredibly dirty on the inside? I think I've taken like 3 showers since I've seen this movie. This is an ungodly, odd film. It's weirdly written. It's written by the guy who starred on Prison Break. His name is Wentworth Miller. And you can tell this is an amateur writer because it's just an oddly put together story. You've got these characters who talk like they're in a movie. You know how in some movies the dialogue feels very natural? This is going for kind of an atmospheric type dialogue, so all the characters, the best way I can describe it, is they have drive conversations where a lot of it is, "What are you doing today?" "Nothing." Like, it's odd conversations like that. None of the dialogue in this film really feels natural, especially when you get to Matthew Good's character, who might as well just be a vampire, because he just shows up and just basically starts going like, "I'm your uncle, and I'd like to be your friend." The actors do a decent job, despite the kind of bad writing. You've got Nicole Kidman, who can play a vindictive grade A bitch like nobody's business. She's done it in several movies, and she's excelling at it here. You've got Matthew Good as this kind of weird uncle. You know, he like I said, he has these weird vocal mannerisms, and his character is directed and written to be this very stylized character, so he really goes for it. And he manages to be this effectively creepy guy with this very skinny posture, not very intimidating looking, but very intimidating acting, and that's the key to any good killer or crazy person in any movie. Where I start not to believe it is Mia Wasikowska. Now, I've given this girl a few chances. You know, I saw Alice in Wonderland, and I thought she was completely terrible in it. Then I attributed that to Tim Burton's bad directing, because everybody was bad in that movie. Then she was bland in The Kids Are Alright. Then she was bland in Lawless, and here she continues to be utterly bland and entirely uninteresting in this role that required a lot from her. This is a girl who's entirely set off from the world, who has these unbelievably screwed up things happening around her, and yet I guess the idea of the movie is that she's kind of numb to it, which is interesting, but she doesn't play any side particularly well. She's just kind of there. And for the lead in this movie, it needed to be someone better than that, who could really convey one emotion or the other. This movie starts off god-awfully, painfully slow. For about the first 50 minutes, I was absolutely hating this damn thing, just because it refuses to start, and it refuses to really do anything creative in those 50 minutes. It feels so cliched. This movie was directed, as I mentioned before, by a guy who's highly renowned for doing this Asian film called Old Boy. And he's a good visual director. He gets these shots together nicely. But the problem is that there are scenes in this film that are so well shot, but some of them don't make any sense. And then some of them are edited atrociously. I swear to God, nobody watched this movie before they released it, because there are these little editing blips that I know are supposed to be like the characters feeling insane, but they're not well done. They feel like bad editing, like someone like in Final Cut Pro left a clip hanging in there and someone forgot to take it out. Like, it's just odd editing, and it doesn't mesh well with the occasional beautiful cinematography that this director brings to the table. It's the most mishmashly directed movie I've seen in a long time. Overall, this film is the epitome of a mixed bag. While it's occasionally well directed and somewhat well acted by some of its leads, it is painfully slow, it's badly edited, and it's just the writing in it is awful. I'm sorry, it's just Wentworth Miller was on another planet when he was writing this movie, especially when it comes to the ending. And it's an odd movie. It feels like a movie that's really trying to be provocative and dark, but instead it just comes off strange and disconnected and not remotely human. It's like, it's an odd Hitchcock impersonation that just doesn't succeed at impersonating anything, and I give it 2 stars out of 4 just because there are some redeeming qualities in it. And that was my review of Stoker. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. You can also request a review, leave a comment, do whatever you want. And until next time, I'm Michael Fairbanks. See you later.
We don't need to be friends. We're family.